Hey ladies, so in this video I talk with Sue, who is a personal trainer. She's a nutritionist. She is the habit changing expert and the go-to when it comes to wanting to feel healthier, wanting to change those bad habits, create good habits, lose the weight, get fitter, all of that stuff. Watch the video and leave your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think. Take care. You're looking gorgeous.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm
You're
very
good?
well. I'm very well. I just was my Wi-Fi. It's just in bits. It's just a bloody nightmare.
Well, it's this rural Devon living of
It's
ours, isn't it?
I know. That's what I was just saying. Wi-Fi in Devon is horrendous. It's probably worse where you are, definitely, because you're right on the beach, aren't you? Which is beautiful, but you can never get any signal where you are.
No, I mean, we're not too bad in the house, but yeah, down on the beach, it's a bit of a nightmare. But
Yeah, not that we're
means we can
complaining.
switch off from everything.
It totally does. It does. So thank you so much for coming on today. So
You're
every
welcome.
every week I'm reaching out to the people like yourself who can motivate us and inspire us, and just talking to leaders and women that have transformed their life in one way or another, and we can learn from you. So everybody, this is the lovely Sue. Sue is a nutritionist. She's a personal trainer. She's a coach. You're a bit like a life coach, aren't you, Sue?
Yeah.
And she is the one that everybody goes to when it comes to that accountability for getting fit and healthy. So the whole idea around these videos for me is helping women, or helping everybody, but predominantly women, build their confidence so they take action and they start living the life that they want to live. So I wanted to invite Sue on and pick her brains around healthy eating. We've got Christmas coming up, so it all tends to go to pot. It's gone to pot in our house already because the chocolate calendars, everyone keeps turning up
Yeah.
with bloody chocolate calendars. I saw that you forgot your chocolate calendars this morning, did you?
Yes. Well,
Oh,
the options in Tesco's were a little bit lacking
oh, weren't
when I was
they?
there last week, so we're going to go with well, we've got dad jokes.
Yeah,
James is on the dad jokes on a daily, and
perfect.
we're going to do things that make us happy in an
Love
evening. We're
that.
going to do a happiness jar advent calendar instead.
I love that. Yes, yes. And it
Who needs
ditches the
chocolate
sugar.
every day? We eat enough
Yeah.
chocolate as it is. We don't need it in advent as well.
That's it. No, I totally agree. So yeah, I've just got a few questions with you. But before I go into it, can you just tell everybody your story and how you got to where you are today in your health and your wellness, and all that
Sure.
kind of lovely stuff?
Okay. So my sort of the journey that I'm now on, I guess, started about 7 years ago when I saw a photograph of myself, and it wasn't the person I thought I was looking back at me in that photo. Physically, more than anything else, I just wasn't very
Okay.
happy with the physical appearance in that photo.
Okay.
But what then happened was I took myself on a bit of a weight loss journey. I
Yeah.
started recommitting to exercise. And what I actually found was I'd lost myself. I
Right.
hadn't realized this. I'd had my 3 children, and my self-esteem, again, I hadn't realized that my self-esteem was rock bottom. My
Yeah.
self-confidence was lacking.
Yeah.
My energy was poor.
Yeah.
I was that mum that was reaching for the chocolate and the crisps and the caffeine all day long and the wine once the kids were in bed, and all that stuff that we hear so much from many, many mums out there.
Yeah.
Feeling tired and sluggish and just generally a bit crap all the
Yeah.
time, really.
Yeah.
Only I hadn't registered that I didn't need to feel like that
Yeah.
until I started really focusing in on my nutrition and my fitness.
Yeah.
And literally within a few weeks, my energy levels improved,
Yeah.
my mood improved, my
Yeah.
sleep improved, the hangry moments mid-afternoon disappeared.
Yeah.
My husband was getting a better wife, my children were getting a better mum. I was
Yeah.
just generally feeling like Sue again.
Yeah.
And it's really on the back of all of that and that powerful impact that nutrition and exercise has on our
Amazing.
lives
Yeah.
that I decided I was going to retrain
Yeah.
at the age of 42, I think I was.
Amazing.
Retrain as a personal trainer.
Yeah.
And then a year later, I trained as a nutritionist because
Wow.
I realized as a personal trainer, you're very, very limited in what you can talk about nutrition wise. And I'm
Yes.
very much about the two things going hand in hand.
Yes.
From my own personal experience, I found they needed to be sort of interlinked. So
Yes.
yeah, 42 I was, decided on a career change.
Amazing.
And then it took me another couple of years to ditch my paid employment
Yeah.
and really, drill down on what I'm doing now. So now I'm, as you were saying earlier, I'm a coach. I'm a nutrition and weight loss coach. I class myself as a habit change expert.
Love that.
And we don't just talk about nutrition with my clients. It's very much about lifestyle. It's about sleep. It's about how they can incorporate regular exercise into their lives, even if it's only 5 minutes at a time. I'm not talking about, suddenly changing their lives completely from a time scale perspective, but I am talking about changing their lives completely from an energy perspective.
Yes,
Yeah.
because this is the thing, isn't it? And I know, and I'll hold my hands up as a mum and be the first one to admit it. It's the excuses that I'll come up with. So it'll be, oh, I haven't got the time, or I haven't got the energy, or I'm too busy. They've got too much other things to do.
Yeah.
And like you say, I've been really good this last few weeks actually. Since the beginning of lockdown, I said to myself this lockdown, I'm not going to touch the alcohol. So I've been off alcohol for the whole month of November and it feels amazing. I've just felt like I've got so much energy. And not that I drink a lot, but when it comes to alcohol and me, I have this relationship with it. Where if I'm feeling a bit pissed off or I'm feeling a bit annoyed, tired, whatever, it was like, I went to alcohol as a way of just to relax and it was like my calm, a bit of my calm sort of time. So I wanted to move away from that. But yeah, I think as a parent, there's always the excuses. So it's trying to find something, a system, whatever you call it, where you're doing a little bit of everything and it's taking you that little bit closer to where it is that you want to go. Because someone turns around and says, you've got to go and do, I don't know, 3 hours of PT classes and you're thinking, I haven't got the time to do that. It's like straight away, you're on the negative, aren't you?
Yeah, that's. I mean, you're setting yourself up for failure there massively.
Yeah.
So what I do with my clients is we talk about small changes, and we can build on those small changes. So they might start off with just literally, I've got a drink here. They might even just start off by literally adding in some more water into their day. That might be the first strategy we work on, and we might decide that's the only thing they're going to work on for 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And once that new habit has started to really embed itself, we then add in the next thing, and we might focus on their sleep next, for example. So saying, well, can you go to bed just 15 minutes earlier? So again, not drastically changing your routine or what you do in your life, but it has such a powerful impact, just those small changes.
Yeah.
And then we obviously, we'll tweak their diets as well. But again, small changes, building over time. So I work with my clients for nearly 4 months. I'm not into, quick fix approaches. It's about building habits that are going to stick around forever. So I'm very much about sustainable long-term lifestyle changes rather than just, let's lose a few pounds by going on a crash diet.
Not going to
and
work.
Then pile it all back on again. I want my clients to have that confidence with their nutrition, the confidence with moving their body, that they can keep doing it for the long term.
I love that, Sue. I love that, because that's the thing, isn't it? We all go, right, we've got Christmas coming up, I'm going to be good for a couple of weeks, and we tend to not eat any biscuits, not eat any chocolate, not drink any alcohol, but we can't sustain it because that's the stuff that we enjoy having. And then we're up and down, so we're yo-yoing. Then at 1 minute our confidence is there, next minute it's down here. There's no balance at all.
Exactly.
And that's something you touched on last week, and I just love that word, balance, because if you can have everything in that's all sort of balanced and level, it just makes a really nice life, doesn't it? A happy, fulfilling life.
Exactly. I mean, I actively encourage my clients to incorporate those treats. So whether it's a glass of wine at the weekend, whether it's the odd takeaway, whether it's a slice of cake, or a little chocolate bar every evening. You know, the little Freddo frogs are amazing for that.
Yeah.
I I almost force my clients because they
Yeah.
want to go into diet mentality.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
trying to sort of switch their brain over to this, as you say, a very balanced approach. So
Yeah.
I actively encourage them to incorporate treats because we want those things, you know, in 6, 12 months time. We don't want to be
Yeah.
not having any biscuits or
No.
cake
No.
or wine or
No.
pizza or anything. We want to know how we can incorporate those and still be feeling incredible.
Yes, love that. So you've answered my first question, which was
Sorry.
no, it's
Head of the game.
perfect. It's perfect, which was we all want to be healthy and feel better, have more energy, because most of us lack that motivation. Where can we start? And you've just said that it's just making those small changes.
Definitely.
And can you tell us about how you get your clients to actually take action and see results when it comes to weight loss and exercise? What sort of
Okay.
results do they see?
Sure. So the very first thing I do whenever I talk to a client is we really dig deep on why they want to make the changes they want to make. So on the surface, obviously weight loss is their primary goal, but I always ask them, why do they want to lose weight? And I ask them to really dig deep on that. So we'll start
Yes.
that process on that first call.
Yeah.
But then almost as a little piece of homework, I ask them to really go away and sort of really dig deep on it. So keep asking themselves, yes, but why, but why, but why? And for a
Yes.
lot of my clients, it's about pride. For some of them, well, most of my clients are mums, so they've
Yes.
sort of lost their sense of self a little bit. They perhaps have
Yes.
lost their sexy mama
Yeah.
feeling, so a
Yeah.
lot of them want to get that back. Confidence is a huge thing that comes up on those calls as well.
Yeah.
So we really dig deep on their why. So that's
Yes.
and we refer back to that every single call and every single day. So that I ask them
Yes.
to reflect on that every single day. The second thing we talk about, which is sort of interlinked, is what do they want their future version of themselves to be like? Not
Yeah.
just how do they look, but how do they feel? How do
Yeah.
they behave?
Yeah.
What decisions do they choose to make?
Yeah.
What are they doing? What's their
Yeah.
life like?
Yeah.
And by really putting themselves into that future version of themselves, they've got this
Yes.
visualization of what they're aiming for. And it's
Yes.
more than just, well, I'm a size 10. It's so
Yes.
much more. It's like I'm running around the park with my kids, or I'm going out on a night out with the girlfriends and I feel really super slim and super sexy and just really like full of self-confidence.
Yes.
It's all that sort of stuff. And
Yes.
again, when I'm working with them, they're looking at that every single day. They write it down every single day and
Yes.
reflect on whether the decisions they've made on that particular day match what their future self would have chosen to do as well.
I love that. Love it, love it, love it. Because that is just that's it's coaching what you're doing, isn't it? It's like getting them to see things in a different way.
Yeah,
So the why, it all comes down to that. Why is it that you want to lose the weight? Who
yeah,
do you feel you're going to become in losing the weight, or who do you want to become in losing the weight? Comes down
yeah.
to sort of values and that kind of stuff. I love that. I love that. Do you
And
have
I
any?
guess the other thing just to add is even if they don't then lose the weight,
Mm,
which they will because
mm,
that's what the goal is, right? But even if they don't, they've made so many positive changes to their lives anyway that
yes.
they're still feeling more energized, more confident,
Yes.
sexier, back to feeling like themselves again, getting their
Yes.
zest for life back. That's all
Yeah.
happening anyway. So the
Yeah.
weight loss is almost becoming a little bit of a byproduct.
Definitely.
That's why they come to me in the first place, but it's so much bigger than a weight loss goal, really.
Oh, massively. And I think that's why I suppose you concentrate on the why, because the
Mm,
pounds are, like you say, it is a byproduct. But actually, if you can get deep as to why is it that you want to lose the weight, why are you feeling you're not feeling confident, what's happening, and you sort of really land the plane,
yes,
then you're literally transforming their whole life. It's amazing. I think that's amazing. Do you have any tips on keeping it consistent? Because I know if people were accountable to you, then fantastic. I know you run online workshops and things, don't you, or Zooms and sort of PTing
yeah,
online. Um,
yeah,
but do you have any other ways that people can keep it consistent? Because we may have a really good idea. Yep, we want to do this. We want to lose the weight. We want to get fitter. We want to build our confidence, whatever it may be. We
yeah,
start and then we fall off. And it's that
yeah.
to from all the time.
Okay, so I'm going to go back to the thing we were talking about earlier and starting small. So the first thing to say is, as you were pointing out earlier on, quite often we have this goal in mind. So we go, right, let's say it's fitness related. I'm going to get down the gym 5 days a week.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you do that for about 2 weeks because it feels amazing. And then life gets in the way. Then you feel like you failed. So you throw your toys out of the pram and you think, well, there's just no point. If I can't get down there 5 times a week, I might as well just not bother. It's not working for me. So we need to reframe all of that. We need to say, okay, if I'm not doing anything at the moment, maybe I challenge myself to do 2 10-minute workouts this week. I'm going to commit to doing 2 just 10-minute workouts, or even 2 5-minute workouts. And quite often when we start off small like that, we do more than we've planned. So we'll do our 5 minutes and we'll think, oh, I'm feeling quite good after 5 minutes, so I'll do a little bit more. And all of a sudden you might have done 15 minutes. And then you're on the path to success because you're feeling proud. You're feeling really pleased with what you've achieved. You've more than succeeded in what you'd set out to do. So start small. I would also say try and schedule anything into your diary. So if you're planning to do 2 workouts a week, when are you going to do them? Pop it in your diary, make an appointment with yourself, and don't pull back on that appointment. So if you were making an appointment with a friend or a boss or a work colleague or the dentist, you pop it in your diary and you commit to it. Do the same with your health and your fitness as well. And then again, it does come back to your why. So always thinking, well, why do I want to do these things? And if you can keep that in the forefront of your mind, that really, really helps you to make decisions that help you stay consistent. As you pointed out, accountability is a huge, huge part. You don't need to be in an online community. You could just have a mate that you check in with once a week, or maybe it's even your partner or even one of your children. You say to them, right, I'm telling you today that I'm going to do a workout, or I'm going to not have that glass of wine this evening, or I'm not going to have biscuits today, or whatever it is that you're choosing to do. Tell someone. Because not only will they hold you accountable, but you've suddenly given yourself a whole load of accountability too. And it makes a huge difference. I do it myself. I mean, I love my fitness and being, eating well, but I still have to sometimes tell people I'm doing it so that I commit to it too.
Yes, definitely. And putting it out there. That's what I did actually with the no alcohol thing for November. I thought, well, if I just put it out there and I tell everyone that I'm doing it, then I've got to keep at it. And it's amazing. And you do, when you put it out there and actually share it with someone, there's so much more chance of you succeeding than if you don't and you just keep it all to yourself.
Definitely.
So Christmas is just around the corner. Like I say, the chocolate advent calendars have already been opened this morning. Have you got any ideas, or can people contact you? Because I've been talking to Matt about this. We're doing Christmas dinner, and I was saying, like, as much as it's so nice to have all the trimmings and all of that kind of stuff, have you got any ideas or recipes that you can share if we get in touch with you around?
Well, you can, but my whole philosophy about Christmas is go and bloody well enjoy it.
Go for it.
But remember that Christmas is, let's say you've got Christmas Eve dinner, you've got Christmas Day, Boxing Day, and let's include New Year's Eve as well for good measure, right? And maybe one other occasion in December.
Because you feel rough as.
5 days. And there are 31 days in December. So the other 26, you don't have to go crazy. So for me personally, enjoy those days consciously, mindfully. Maybe reduce your portion size slightly. Certainly for me, I no longer feel I need that like massive plate of food, because I actually feel pretty rubbish after I've eaten that great big plate of food. So we just don't go too crazy with our cooking. We just cook like a normal roast dinner. Maybe with a few extra special little bits on the side. But we just don't go too mad. We have a really lovely meal. We have some nice wine. We have the nibbles. But if you just remember, it's literally 3, 4, 5 days out of the whole of December. You can enjoy those moments, because it's about long-term consistent changes rather than, one particular meal or one particular day. That's what's going to if you remember it being long term, that's how you're going to succeed in whatever your health and wellness goals are.
Yeah. And I think that's the key, isn't it? It takes time. It's not like jump in and jump out. I remember years back, there'd be all the different diets. I'm sure you've probably done them yourself, where there was like the
Oh,
cabbage
yes.
diet, or there was the egg diet. There was all these different diets that used to be flying around, and you do them for like 3 or 4 days. You know, you might be able to put your jeans on and you feel quite comfortable. But then as soon as you go back to eating even half normally, the weight goes back on. You then start feeling like crap. You then, you know, you start talking to yourself negatively. Your self-talk, you know, the negative self-talk comes in. And that's why, like you say, it's so important, isn't it, that you keep it consistent, and it's achievable goals.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I never did the cabbage or the egg diets, I have to say, but I have done a number of diets in the past. And yeah, absolutely. I mean, the diet I did when I saw that photo, I actually went to Weight Watchers. That was my first, like, not foray. I'd already done other diets, but that was the one. And I realized after about 2 or 3 months, it's just not sustainable. You're not eating a healthy, balanced diet when you're doing something like Weight Watchers.
No.
I was eating the same stuff week in, week out, because I knew what the points were. I was
then living off
bored, and I was living off low fat this and low fat that. And as I now know, fat is really, really important in our diets. It's really important for hormone regulation. So if we're not getting enough fats in our diets, we're going to end up with all sorts of other health issues. And yeah, it was off the back of that I re-educated myself properly in nutrition.
Fantastic.
That's not a good way to eat. But yes, I've tried the diets, and they're great while they're working, and they're really demoralizing, as you say, when you then put the weight back on again.
If people say want some information and advice from you around nutrition as well, do you offer that? You know, if someone's going,
absolutely.
I'm looking at, I want to reduce, or I know I'm eating too much, I know my portion size is too big, or whatever it may be, being a nutritionist, do you offer that alongside your PT and stuff?
I mean, my main area of work actually at the moment is in the nutrition sphere. So my nutrition and weight loss coaching is my sort of primary field of work at the moment. The PT, I've got one personal training client at the moment, but I'm actually focusing very heavily on the nutrition and weight loss coaching at the moment, because as we were talking about earlier, I just see the transformation that it has in people's lives, not just from a weight loss perspective, but from all the other things we were talking about earlier, the confidence, the self-esteem, and so on.
Love that. Thank you so much, Sue. If people want to get hold of you, how's the best way to get in touch? On Instagram or?
I am on Instagram, but I have to say I'm not particularly active on here at the moment. So the best place to find me is over on Facebook. And I have a group over there, a free Facebook group. It's called the Healthy Habits Hub for Busy Mums.
Brilliant.
So if you just search Healthy Habits Hub for Busy Mums, you'll see a picture of me, and you'll find me there.
Brilliant. And what I'll do, I'll make sure when I share the video around, I'll put the link to that Facebook group over there, so people can go in and find you there. Well, thank you so much for sharing all of your wisdom with us. Have a lovely December. Have a fab Christmas if I don't see you before. And we'll catch up soon.
Take care, Emma. Thanks for having me.
Take care.
Nice to speak to you all. Bye-bye.
Bye.